Namaskar. Once again, another beautiful story, and this time the stories are from Hitopadesh. The title of the story is The Carpenter's Camel. Once upon a time, there lived a poor carpenter in a small village. He was so poor that he could not even afford to buy an axe or a saw to cut wood and work to earn a living. He spent his miserable life taking loans from villagers. He would borrow money to buy food for himself and his family. The villagers hated the carpenter because he never returned the money he borrowed. But no one tried to understand his condition as a poor man. Soon the carpenter got fed up of bearing the ill comments of the villagers. He had to use the money on feeding his family. He just could not save any money to use for his work. The villagers thought that he was a lazy man who just did not want to work. In desperation, the carpenter decided to leave the village to go to the city to start a new life. So one night, when his family members and the villagers were in deep sleep, the carpenter left the village. As he walked towards the city, on the way he came upon a she-camel. She had lost her other partners of the caravan. A young camel, which was her offspring, was following her around. The kind carpenter decided to adopt the two camels. He took the two camels and traced his way back to his village. Next morning, he bathed the two camels and fed them well. Now he started taking care of them. He would lead the camels to the forest where they would feed on the grass and the leaves of trees. Then they would drink the sweet water from the pond. In the evening, the carpenter would lead them back to his hut. The villagers saw the carpenter doing some work, so they stopped talking ill about him. As years went by, the young camel grew into a big and handsome one. The carpenter bathed him and decorated him with beads. Then he would take his wife and children on a camel ride around the village. But the villagers suddenly became jealous of him. Thus they began to talk. Look at the carpenter sitting proudly on a camel. It was only a few years ago when we used to feed him with our own money. But the carpenter never paid attention to their comments. He just loved to take care of his camels. He thought, in a few years from now, the camel will meet a she-camel and start a family. I'll have a large herd of camels. I will sell some camel milk and trade in young camels too. Within few years, his dreams came true. With the passage of time, he had a large herd of camels. He was no longer called a carpenter now. People referred him as a camel trader. But in spite of all this, he never stopped taking care of his camels. The villagers were even more jealous of his new life now. Once the carpenter was returning home with his camels in the evening. A jealous farmer went to him and said, "Dear camel man, your camels are very handsome indeed. Have you ever thought that what would happen if you lose them?" The carpenter was surprised at the question. He replied, "No, I have never thought of it." The farmer said, "I give you an idea to save yourself from losing them. Why don't you tie a bell around one of them? The other camels will hear the sound of the bell and stay around. You don't have to call each camel. They will come together and learn to follow the one with the bell. And you will also be able to trace them with the help of the sound of the bell in case your camels wander off." The carpenter was a simple man. He did not understand the farmer's ill intentions. Soon he tied a bell around the handsome camel's neck. The camel with the bell around his neck became proud of his appearance. He thought that he was special to have received the bell. So he walked around with a proud gait. The other elderly camels told him not to let his heart fill with pride. But the camel with the bell did not heed their advice. He started staying aloof from the other camels, thinking himself far too superior to mix with the other camels. One day, when the carpenter led his camels to the forest to feed them, the proud camel walked alone. He decided that he was young and brave enough to wander around all by himself. So he walked away from the other camels. As ill luck would have it, a lion was hiding nearby. When he heard the tinkle of the bell, he knew that some herd of domestic animals was nearby. Following the sound of the bell, the lion soon reached the camel with the bell. The lion was hungry, so he attacked the camel and ate him greedily. Thus came an end to the proud camel's life. The simple carpenter lost a precious camel as the jealous farmer had wanted it. I am sure you got what is the moral of the story. The moral of the story is that yes, we should hear the advice of other people, but let us weigh and watch and take our own decisions rather than taking decisions by getting influenced by other people. It's not that we should not heed the advice of others. No, but before acting upon the advice of others, let us think about the positive as well as the negative side of the advice of others. Rest, life gives every day new experiences to all of us. So have your own judgment, have your own idea of taking decision, listen to your own conscience and take care before taking a decision. Let us not jump to conclusions because everyone in this world is not a cheat. Let's be fair to others. Thank you for listening this wonderful story, and to make this story interesting, Manoj ji has helped me. I am Kamaljit Yadav. Don't forget to give your feedback. Thank you.